Scars presents Survivor Hour, where survivors of child sexual abuse share their stories, their journey, and their path to healing in the hopes that by revealing their secrets, they can inform our community and help to save our children from child sexual abuse.
Hi, everyone. I'm Debbie Ray Rivers. I am the founder and executive director of SCARS, Saving Children and Revealing Secrets. I am joined today with Dr. Alicia Hancock, a respectable clinical psychologist in our Bermuda community. And I'm also joined today with survivors. This is called Survivor Hour, and welcome. You know, we always say at SCARS that revealing is healing. So Sister Jara, thank you for revealing your secret. Thank you for being here today. Tell us your story.
Thank you. Thank you so much. How are you, Dr. Hancock?
I'm great, thanks. Glad to have you.
First of all, I would like to thank SCARS because I don't think another platform would have even given me this opportunity to do this. And you, Debbie, have been a great strength in my life. So thank you. And now I'm ready to tell some dark secrets that have been very hurtful in my life. And I'm ready to continue to heal all the way.
So proud of you. Thank you so much, Sister Jaro.
Thank you.
How has your sexual abuse impacted your life?
Unfortunately, it's still impacting my life. I didn't expect it to. I really didn't expect it to follow me into my 40s, but no matter what, you just have to continue to love yourself. Like, that's what I have learned, is that you just have to love yourself over and over and over again. We make a lot of mistakes in life. People beat us up, you know, and then if you're like me, we beat ourselves up. And as life's going on, you just have to realize that if you really truly want to heal, you have to just continue to love yourself and be kind to yourself. So
yeah, that's beautiful. And I agree with that as a survivor. As a fellow survivor, we do. We know what happened to us when we were little was not our fault and that we did nothing wrong. So thank you for sharing that. Why do you think child sexual abuse is so silencing?
It's very shameful. It's very shameful. The man that sexually molested me was a very trusted family member. And he was someone that was very respected. People looked up to this man. He was the oldest sibling in his family. And I mean, a very good, a very good person in the sense that his family looked up to him, respected him, and loved him. You know, and when you hear that somebody like that has molested a child, people don't really know how to take it. They don't really know how to deal with it, which is why a lot of people want to keep it in the closet. They definitely want to keep it in the closet or sweep it under the rug because it's just something that people don't even want to have to face. They don't want to face it. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to have to deal with the shame and the guilt that comes with it.
So there's a lot of denial within the family.
A lot of denial. A lot of denial.
Which inevitably affects the child who is the victim.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because we can't really stop something that we don't deal with. We can't, the children need the accountability. They need to know that grown-ups are going to stand up for them and do the right thing. And the grown-up in your life did the right thing. From your story, it was revealed and there was accountability and consequence. But I think the seriousness of sexual abuse, it gets played down when we don't realize that offenders are still dangerous.
They're very dangerous. They're very dangerous. And no matter what's the consequence? You have to stand up against them, because if you don't, they're going to do it again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If they have the opportunity to, it's a real sickness.
Yeah.
It is a real sickness. And if you don't stand up to it, they have the opportunity to do it again. And I told my mom, as soon as it had happened to me, when it had happened to me, I instantly felt of the feelings of guilt and shame come over me. Those feelings instantly came over me, because I could have ran anywhere else, but I ran to my bed and I gripped my blanket and I just had it like this. I just laid out stiff and I had the blanket right up to her and I just stayed there. I don't know how long I stayed there for, but I just stayed there. And I remember saying, I'm not moving, because I just remember saying in my mind that something really bad has happened. Something really bad has happened. And my mom came home from work, and she instantly took a look at my face. Like, she instantly looked at my face. And she was like, what's wrong? Like, white stuff's come. Apparently, I was foaming from the mouth.
How old were you?
11.
I ask you. You were 11 years
I was 11 years old. And it was a sunny day. I used to say I remember it like yesterday, but now I remember bits and pieces. It was a sunny day. My mother had to go work, so she left me in the care of the molester. And he was an alcoholic. He liked to drink. I don't know if he had been drinking already, but I know he wanted to go out for a drink. So I remember him saying, let's go get some ice cream. And we jumped on his bike and he went downtown and bought his alcoholic beverages. And then we went and got our ice cream and we drove around and we came back to the house. And I think I was in the room, in my room, playing with toys or watching TV, whatever I was doing. And the molester called me. And because it was a trusted family member, I didn't hesitate. Yeah. So I went there, yes. And I went up to the molester, and I remember them telling me that I was very beautiful. You're beautiful and you're a beautiful girl. And, I'm standing there in pigtails just looking at this person saying, okay, like, I want to get back to my toys. Like, you know what I mean?
As a child.
As a child, like, yeah. And this person's just telling me how beautiful I am. And then I remember them kind of like touching the back of my hair, like pushing my hair towards their face. And I'm still not realizing what's going on. And next thing you know, I feel this tongue all in my mouth, and I just remember like, what's happening? Like, I really remember having that emotion, like
Confusion.
Confused, Termy. I remember being confused, like the person had the tongue in my mouth. And then I think they was touching me in my breast area and touching me down below. And by this time, I'm like frozen with fur. I'm frozen. And the person said again in a stern voice, they was like, Rocher. And they said, lay down on the bed. And I remember just, laying down like a soldier. Like, I just remember, stiff with fur, laying down like a soldier. And I remember the person taking down my pants. And then I remember them with one hand trying to unfasten their pants. And then I just remember this person trying to shove themselves into me.
How trapped did you feel?
At that particular time, I felt like I couldn't move. Mm-hmm. And it happened twice. The person tried to shove themselves into me and they couldn't get in. And then they tried again. They shoved themselves into me again and they couldn't get in. And then I just remember the person getting frustrated. Like, they got frustrated and just kind of like huffing and puffing, like sat up on the bed. And that was my cue. And I got up as quickly as I could. And I just like quickly walked into my bedroom and I just laid on the bed, like stiff as a board. And I just remember grabbing the blanket and just just having the blanket up to her. And I just remember just saying, like, you know, don't move. Whatever you do, don't move. And I stayed that way till my mom came here from work. I stayed like that till my mother came here from work.
Wow.
But my mother, with her motherly instinct, she instantly took a look at my face and was like, what's wrong? And I told her, I managed to get out the words, he touched me. I managed to get these words out, he touched me. And my mom, she took a quick minute to process it. I remember her face just being blank. But then, like, she said, okay. She said, okay. And she went into the person and said, you know, Rochelle, you know, I'm going to take Rochelle with me down to the shop. I remember her saying she's going to go down to the shop. And she scooped me up right in the blanket I had covering me. She scooped me up in the blanket, put me in the car, took me down to the St. George's police station. And I remember us standing outside because you couldn't just enter. I think you had to ring some sort of bell or something. And I remember my mother ringing the bell, and I remember the police officer having some sort of interaction with her. And during that time, the molester drove across. They drove across and they gave my mother the nastiest look in the world. So they was fully aware of what they had done. And again, this was somebody that was highly respected by their family, by all their siblings. This was somebody that was the oldest sibling, and this was somebody that had a lot of common sense. So it's definitely a sickness.
It is.
It's definitely a sickness of the mind. And a lot of times, these predators, they think that they could get away with it.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
Yeah.
I believe they think that they could get away with it because the person that molested me had a lot of common sense. Like,
Do you believe that you were able to tell your mom right away because you had a safe and secure relationship with her, or because you were struck by fear and that immediately forced you to say something?
both. I think my mother saw the fear in me when she walked into that room. Like, she's like, you know, this ain't my daughter. She's laying down on the bed with the covers over her. Like, my mother knew.
Your mom did the right thing. It wasn't the easy thing. She obviously knew this person, and it was a trusted family member, but she did the right thing.
And she taught me that lesson of me telling my mom, and my mom reported it. My mom, you know, sticking by me. I remember when I was in the hospital getting examined to make sure that it wasn't no full penetration. And I remember the doctor saying to my mom, you know, her hymen is still intact. That was the first time I even ever heard the word hymen.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I remember the doctor saying that to my mom, her hymen is still intact, which was why my molester only got 3 years. He didn't actually penetrate me. But my mom was there in the hospital. My mom kept me out of the courtroom. She was in the courtroom. She faced the molester. You know, he got 3 years. My mom saw all that through. But this being her family member, me and my mom were never close after that. We were never close.
And as you said, your relationship with your mom was impacted, so
Right.
it would be difficult for her to instill any discipline
Right.
in you.
I resented my mom for choosing to keep the family member in her life. Because I said, okay, you had 3 years. This is how I was thinking as a young teenager. Like, you had 3 years to get away. He was locked up for 3 years. Why didn't you leave? And I had them thoughts for many years, even up to today. I had people in later years, like in my 20s, say, like my close friends say, you know, maybe your mama was scared. Had 1 or 2 people say that, you know, maybe that person would have killed your mom.
Right. We don't know that, right?
No,
We don't
no.
know why relatives of perpetrators and people who are close in their life decide to to keep those people in their life, knowing that they sexually harmed the child in their life.
Yeah, sometimes there's dependency, there's fear, uh, denial. Or
It's a
their
lot.
own trauma.
Yeah, it's a lot that comes with it. But I could tell you, me and my mother's relationship was never the same.
Well, I guess it become difficult to trust her judgment.
Yeah.
After that.
Okay, everyone. Well, we're hearing stories of sexual abuse, and we're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. We'll be back after these messages.